All right, we're here again with Lorenzo's Scientific Holistic Health Store. Thanks again, everybody, for indulging me, for coming to listen to what I have to say. The key now is there are a lot of people who still are wondering why they're not able to lose weight, why they still don't have enough energy. So I want to concentrate on this weight so-called loss thing that people are very interested in right now. I understand that most of us really don't care about getting healthy because we're more in tune to care about what's going on the outside. I get that. That's cool though. We can work with that. We can work with that. Because by taking care of the outside and taking care of the inside, the whole person is going to be hooked up. And that's what we're here for. First thing we need to get into, I don't want to make this too long. A lot of people have said that, man, that other one was way too long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this first part brief, because there are a lot of people like myself who wants to know exactly how these herbs work, what phytonutrients are in these herbs that will help me to eliminate the toxins in my body, how I can lose weight, how I can get my energy back, and all of those things. And people want to know exactly how does that work. Because basically we're in tune to just pop pills from the pharmaceutical companies and not ask them questions. But for me, the burden of proof is on the healer, and I understand, and it's all good, and I'm with that. I take that challenge. But first, before I get into that, I have this book here because I can just spit off a lot of the reasons why I use every single one of these herbs, and I've been using them for years for myself. And as I started picking up a lot more clients, people wanted to get healthy like myself, I found out that certain herbs work better with people. I had to change the amounts because I can take a lot. I can take a very, 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 very healthy dose of most of these herbs, and I understand that most people cannot. So just for a little side note, I use the therapeutic tolerance that most people can use. There's a certain degree of tolerance that we can work with as herbalists to use a dosage that is at its lowest point is 1 degree, and at its highest point is another degree, where someone would get the therapeutic effect but not be an overdose for someone, and not to be so small that they're not going to get any effect at all. So we have to work within that therapeutic range, and I keep that in mind when making all of my formulas. This particular video, we're going to deal first with how can I lose weight. That's one of the #1 things people are worried about. How can I lose weight, and how can I keep my sexual stamina up? And that's men and women. My libido has dropped. But we're going to concentrate on this one, the first part of this one. This one is I'm going to make this first part brief, but after that I'm going to go on for those. There are some who want for me to get straight to the point. I'm listening to all of your inquiries, and I will keep that in mind. A lot of people want to just get the basic information. They can care less how it works. They just want to make sure that it works. So my thing is, I can show you how it works. And yes, they do work, and they work because you're going to make them work. And my job is to show you how to make sure that they work. Don't believe anybody that says you can just pop a pill, be it your medical doctor or a herbalist or anybody. It's about your lifestyle. There's certain things in your life that you are doing that are detrimental to your health, and that's why you're in the state that you're already in. If you're in great health right now, it's because you've been doing certain things over time that has allowed your body to balance itself. If you are unbalanced or at a dis-ease state, you have been doing something for a long time that has been destroying your health. As simple as that. And these herbs will help you to get yourself back in balance, along with you, of course, putting the more effort to exercising, and you have to put things in your mouth that are salubrious to the human body. One of the terms I usually hear the brother Jehudi say, but basically that's helpful to the human body. Things that will aid your body into balancing itself out. So first we're going to start with, what is losing weight all about? Why would a person want to lose weight? Especially when the weight that they have accumulated shouldn't be in their body in the first place. What is that weight? Well, first, we can look at our waist area. W-A-I-S-T is very linked to the word W-A-S-T-E, waste, as in trash, stuff that you really don't need in your body in the first place. Once again, as you've heard me say many times, and you're going to hear it a lot more, when you put food into your mouth and start masticating it, chewing it up, the saliva starts to break it down. You have enzymes in your saliva. You start breaking it down. You swallow it. It goes into your body. It gets processed for a second, for maybe about 30 minutes, 40 minutes sometimes in your stomach. Then it goes into your intestines. You have little hairs that's supposed to suck up and take in, assimilate all of the nutrients in it, and it's the rest of it as chyme, as undigested fecal matter, is supposed to be going throughout your body and coming out your anus. That's the very quick method of describing this thing. But basically, that's how it's supposed to work. Most of the things that you're eating right now are so denatured, meaning they are the natural parts are taken out. They are denatured. There's not anything natural about it. It's already been processed. When you eat processed foods, it's already have gone through some type of process, so that it is fecal matter right when you put it into your mouth. Even though it may taste great, because of the chemicals and things they put into it, you're eating doo-doo. That's where your weight is coming from. If you were eating natural foods, it will become fecal matter at the end of your digestive tract and come out of your anus, and you won't have to worry about it anymore. The rest you will sweat out and you'll urinate out. That's the way real food is supposed to go. But when you eat things that your body cannot handle, after a while it's just not going to handle it. It's just going to store it as fat. It's going to be hanging up under your arms, around your neck, in your breast area, in your gut area, in your buttocks, and on your thighs, all the way down to your feet. People you see with swollen ankles and things of that nature, those are toxins that are in the body that are not supposed to be there in the first place. So we need to transition from losing weight to giving back to the universe that which should have never been in your body in the first place. You want to release that which is not supposed to be in your body. You don't have to lose it. You got to get rid of it. You're not supposed to have it anyway. So when you get rid of a person in your life that shouldn't be there, if you get rid of a job that you really don't need, if you're taking classes that are really not beneficial to what you need to do in life, you need to get rid of it. It's nothing that you are losing. When you lose something like a loved one, that's a true loss. That's something that you really wanted to keep into your life and you lost it. If you had $100 in your pocket and you got back home and you know you didn't spend any money and you don't have it, you lost $100. That's a loss. But getting rid of the waste is just like throwing something in the trash can and getting rid of it. It's supposed to be gone. You're not losing anything. That's the first key. You need to change the language. I didn't come up with this terminology. I am not the progenitor of it, but I'm just passing along this information because it does resonate with me. It does make sense. We have too many people talking about losing weight. You're not supposed to be 500 pounds. I really don't care how tall you are. And most people that are 500 to 600 pounds aren't even more than 6 feet tall, usually. So nobody's supposed to be that heavy anyway. So if you are holding a lot of extra waste, let's not say weight, waste. See, weights would be if you put on dumbbells and barbells on your back, that's weight. But waste inside of your body is what you are carrying. See, when I'm lifting weights, I can throw them back down on the ground. That's weight. But waste is the problem. That is what you want to get rid of. Now let's go into it. More and more, most of us are having a problem with getting rid of that which is causing us to gain extra waste, i.e. milk and cheese, which I like to refer to as cow mucus, which is what it is. You can't squeeze a cow and get water. You can't squeeze a cow and get vegetable juice. You can't squeeze a cow and get fruit juice. So it is meat. It's just liquid meat. Once again, when you start changing your vocabulary, it becomes easier to deal with these situations. I don't use the term dairy that much. Dairy sounds like a nice, friendly, childish word. That's why we use that term. Those who sell cow mucus to you, milk sounds something like something that's very healthy. When you think of milk, you think of your mother, you think of children, you think of a mother's milk. But you're not thinking of, and now cows are cool in and of themselves. My first girlfriend owned a cow farm. She had hundreds of cows. They had snot dripping out of their nose and everything, but cows of and to themselves, they're cool animals. But there comes a time, if you're not going to live on a farm, if you're not going to have a cow in your backyard, you have to begin to think, how did I become programmed to drink another animal's mucus? That's one of the biggest problems. Is don't tell me how I'm gonna get my calcium. You don't give a rat's booty about calcium. You don't know what calcium is. We touched upon it a little bit. Most of the fine building blocks of our bodies come from stars. They come from outer space. That energy, those materials, in order for us to get it here, we either get it directly from the sun or we have to eat plants who are breaking down the rudimentary elements from the earth, from the soil. That's how we get the minerals and things. That's where your calcium is supposed to come from. That's where cows are getting it from. Cows eat grass all day, or they are supposed to eat grass all day. That's why there is calcium in their milk. See that? Don't tell me that you gotta eat meat, how I'm gonna get my protein, when you don't know the definition of a protein. Once again, it all goes back to language. And I'm gonna have to, I utilize a lot of people. I'm basically a brother that's sitting on the top of the shoulders of those who come before me. You're gonna hear me say names like Jehudi Ma'ara. You're gonna see me say names like Kidi Obiawadu, Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Phil Valentine. You're going to hear me say Makola. You're going to hear me say Gary Null. You're going to hear me talk about a whole lot of different researchers. You're going to hear me talk about the woman who wrote this book right here. When I first got into this, and I know I'm going on a tangent just for a second, but we're going to get back on the weight loss, but I need to show you a little bit of who I am and what I'm doing right here. And the first thing is, you can do it too. It is up to you to make sure you get healthy. But every now and then, I understand if you were raised in a certain matrix of understanding where you are programmed, and I use that term program a lot because you must understand that it is not your own thoughts. Someone else put their thoughts into your head and you think they're your own. All of a sudden you're talking about protein. The term protein, you don't even know how far back we've been using it as a people. You can't even go back 100 years and see the word protein. So it was someone's idea. I'm not saying that proteins don't exist, but you need to go pick up a book and find out what exactly is it. When I eat that piece of chicken, am I getting protein? I surmise that you're getting a whole lot more, and you're not getting the essential proteins anyway. You're not getting complete proteins, because unlike a true meat eater, you're not going to go out and hunt for that animal and eat that animal raw. Blood, guts, and everything. Feathers, fur, bones, all of those things. A little eyeball, crunching the brain, all of that. So you're most not likely getting essential proteins, complete proteins anyway, because that's not what animals do, you know, when they go out and eat meat. You have to cook it because you do not have the means to metabolize it correctly. That being said, I understand that most people are not going to go 100% raw food is right now. I understand that most people are not going to go at least what we call vegetarian. I know that most people are not going to go so-called vegan. We're going to get into those terms later, but the more I can get you to eat 100% live foods. What does that mean? Does it mean a live chicken? No, that means live fruits and vegetables. Not in a can, not in a bag. And that means it hasn't been picked from a tree that long ago. You can still see the full color in it. You can still crunch it. You haven't killed it on the stove and boiled it to death where it's mushy, things like that. The enzymes are still alive. You cannot eat something dead and expect to get life from it. You have to eat it while it's alive. And since you are a natural plant eater, you eat live plant food. The more you eat, the more you're going to start losing weight. See, it does tie back into that. It may seem like I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm really not. It is all connected. For some reason, you understand as a person who drives a car, if I put a little bit of milk into your tank, even if I do it in moderation, there's that magic word, you got to do it in moderation, you got to do it in moderation. Stop telling me that stupid stuff. Because when I come back at you and say a crackhead that smokes crack every single day, if they did it in moderation once a month, they would be healthier, wouldn't they? Of course they would. They wouldn't be as messed up as they are right now. They still won't be healthy. But we both know that smoking crack, you are trained to say, oh, that's bad. You know that's bad. That's doing drugs. It's illegal. Teeth falling out, things of that nature. But look, your teeth are doing the same things, and you don't smoke crack. Your skin is looking all messed up, and you don't smoke crack. Your hair is falling out, but you don't smoke crack. So you think. You are doing legal drugs. See, the thing is, crackheads and meth addicts have to go out and break into people's houses because the government doesn't subsidize their habit. I'm not going to get that deep. Let me get back on track. Even though I still am on track, but I know a lot of people get taken away. What is he talking about? It's all about language. It's all about how you have been indoctrinated, how you have been trained to see certain things. You see it as okay as waking up eating pancakes, eggs, sausage, and all those things. And I grew up eating a lot of the same stuff. My job is to show you how to get away from that. That is what's killing you right now. That's why your energy is not there, and that's why you're getting fat. And it's more than just fat, because I know a lot of people turn that into, you should just love me for what I am. I do love you. It's time for you to love yourself back, though. I don't love what you do. I love you. I don't love what you are doing to yourself. And if you want to save yourself, you must utilize that which your Creator has made for you to keep yourself healthy. Once again, we go back there. It's simple. It's not that hard. The hardest thing is to reprogram yourself to start seeing things this way. How many live things have you eaten just this week? I have all of my clients writing down and telling me exactly what they ate that whole day, because it makes it easy for you to see that you really don't eat as well as you think you do. I eat pretty good. I eat pretty good. Well, I just lost my grandmother today. She ate pretty good though. Her health wasn't that bad. Because you're thinking she didn't eat 5 hog sandwiches a day. She might have just eaten that once a month. To you, I understand that's good eating. She doesn't eat French fries all the time, only every now and then, which if you really add it up, when you start writing it down, it probably was twice a week. And it wasn't French fries she made herself with food that she grew herself, or she went to some organic farmer. It was something that she went to some fast food restaurant that has a lot more than potatoes and sea salt in it. She didn't really eat as well as she thought. Stop coming to people like myself throwing out that somebody just died of cancer and they ate pretty well. I'm not buying that. Now, once again, you could be 100% raw foodist, but if you live right next to a sewage plant, then yeah, you probably can still get cancer. But there is a reason for everything, even if you know it or not. Now, if you're one of those ones who, for as much as you have tried to make sure that your life is in order, you're away from all the toxic dumps, you make sure that you and your children don't get inoculated with madness, vaccinations and things like that, and you eat 100% holistic food, and you still get sick and you can't figure it out. Stop telling me that, oh, Jack LaLanne died and you know what I'm saying, Steve Jobs and he was a vegan. Because you look very stupid to people like myself. I'm about to get mad for a second. You look very stupid because you're not saying, I bet you can name 30 people that you know that's got diabetes right now, that's dying right now. Heart disease, liver disease, colon cancer. That list is a whole lot more huge. If I ask you right now, okay, name me 5 people out of your whole life that was 100% vegetarian, and not vegetarian meaning they ate potato chips and stuff all the time. 100% vegetables, fruits and vegetables, raw. They might steam some stuff every now and then with rice and beans. I understand that, but for the most part, they ate like that. Give me that list of people. Don't tell me that the big brother Clark Duncan, I don't even know if he was on steroids or not. I like his movies and all that, but when we get real to the heart of the matter, how was he living his life? In terms of diet, that is, in terms of eating. He was on heart medication. He had a heart attack, so don't come to me talking about that. Well, he was vegetarian, yeah, right after he had a heart attack for that month before he passed away. Once again, for those of us who have lost people, I'm not putting it on them. They live their life. Now, you have to use how they live their life and learn from it. Whenever someone leaves this planet, those of us here are supposed to be smarter because of them. You're supposed to thank them. Why did he go vegetarian after that heart attack? He must have done some research after a while and saw that, this is how it's supposed to be lived. It just was too late. But that was his life. I don't get that sad when our stars disappear. Now, Michael Jackson lived his life. I hated to see him go so early, but he lived his life. He touched way more lives than most of us ever will in this lifetime. So he's used up his life in his way. Don't tell me about, what's the singer, I can't even think of her name right. Whitney Houston. Excellent singer, yeah. But she lived her life the way she wanted to live it. How many movies did she make? How many hit singles did she have? How many children? She has children. There are some people out here with no children, never been married, never had a chance to do what they really wanted to do in life. They always wanted to sing. Nobody even knows them. So I don't get sad when the stars leave. Stars live like rock stars anyway. They burn up so fast because they are rock stars. And through free will, we let ourselves be used by certain people. At a certain time, we all get tested. And when those entities that be come to you and say, we want you to do this, we want you to do that, and you know it's something that goes against your God, your upbringing, your health, whatever it is, we all have a choice to make that choice. I'd rather live like that and go out, I don't want to go out smoking crack, cocaine, or whatever drug she chose. I'd rather go out making them same movies, singing, being around my children, and if I go out in a car accident or something like that, or my plane goes down, that's a heroic end. That's how I see it. But if they don't, if there is a conspiracy, then those of us that are the survivors, we're supposed to handle that. If you take out one of our heroes, that's a whole different subject. But I'm not sad. I'm never sad for anything like that. I'm sad for the people that we don't know who go out, who don't make millions and have people around them that can prepare their food for them, that can watch their children for them. If you need to get somewhere, you gotta stress and find a way to get there. There's no jet coming to pick you up. Come on now, let's all get real. Now, it's sad to see anybody go, but once we all figure out, we all come here by ourselves and we all leave out by ourselves. And how we leave is all up to us. How are you going to leave out? That's what you should be worried about. Don't worry about what killed off all these actors, what killed off all these athletes, what killed off all of anybody, presidents, whoever. You need to get your life straight. Back them up when you can. When you know what's going on, keep their back. Don't let them go out like a sucker if they were taken out by an industry. But don't sit back and just gossip either, while your ass is getting fat, while you having heart attacks, while you having strokes, while you losing all of your limbs. That means you don't have your, let me get back to this losing weight. That pisses me off. I'm going to just say that right there. Because when I get to talking to people and we talk about their health, they start throwing out when I tell them, okay, you might have to give up that cow snot. You know what I'm saying? There are other things that you can drink. So you can skip right over soy, actually. But if you have to go to soy, then rice milk, hemp milk, and almond milk. There's a lot of better things that you can put in your mouth if you just gotta eat some cereal in the morning. But don't try to pull up that one person that you've heard of that you don't even know personally. You don't know how that person died. They might have been on crack for all we know. They could have been a raw vegan crack addict for all you know. You do not know that. But you don't have a long list of people who use herbal medicine and who eat 100% holistic organic food that's dropping like flies like you are. That's scientific in itself to me. So don't throw out that one name that everybody, don't keep telling me about Steve Jobs. You look silly with that one. Oh, Jack LaLanne was juicing and he's dead. How old was he? What type of shape was he in? What type of shape are you in? Once again, losing weight, which is that waste that you're not supposed to have in your body already. We're going to sum this up. I know we didn't get that deep, but it's really not that deep. It's deeper than you counting calories. I can give you a piece of this right here, this remote, chip off a little of it, grind it up into a powder, and make a cake with it. And I can give that cake a certain caloric count. That's an estimate of how much heat it will take to break it down. But anybody who knows what this is, you're not going to be able to break this plastic down. I don't care what type of caloric number that you see on the side of the package. You're not going to break it down. It's going to be stored as fat. If you're lucky, your body will be able to get rid of it out of the body in the form of fecal matter. But it's deeper than that. And I thank one of my aunts for allowing me to, when I was like 8 years old, reading her physics books from college. And it told me that calories were a unit of heat. It was a certain amount of heat that water would have to absorb in order to take that, whatever that unit of water was, that measurement of water, up to 1 degree. I don't know, 538 calories to take 1 gram of water up 1 degree, something like that. But that was a lot deeper than, let me look at this Hostess cake right here. Oh, this is only 15 zillion calories. Wait, let me see this piece of doodle right here. Oh, it's 5 calories. That's how it looks to me when I see people doing that. But you're not gonna lose much weight if you're not eating real food, period. I started off talking about our cars. We treat our cars with more sense than our bodies. See, with the cars, that's got to get your ass back and forth to work. So you don't play with that. You play with your body. But you don't get, if your body's messed up, you can't drive your car. Without feet, even though I know you can do it. You got to rearrange the car and get it. I'm not talking about if you were in the war or something, you lost your feet, or in an accident. I'm talking about people got their feet cut off because they were eating fucked up. We got to eat right, people. In your gas tank, I watch a lot of people getting that expensive gas because this is a premium car that I have right here. You'll get the more expensive gas because it burns cleaner in my car. You go get your oil changed at the expense. I only go to the dealership. And they say it like, their eyebrow goes up like that too. I only take my car to the dealership. But with your body, you eat bull crap. You go to the doctor and they give you to pop all these different pills that are not supposed to go into your body. But you will let a mechanic tell you how to treat your car, and you will listen to that. Okay, I only go to the best. Let me go ask somebody else. You go to 5 different mechanics, but you go to one doctor tell you, oh, we need to cut that off. We need to take your uterus out. Oh, you don't need that appendix. You can live without your gonads, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We can take them tonsils out. You can live without it. Yeah, you can live without a lot of things. You can live without a penis. You can live without a clitoris. You can live without your fingers. You can live without your earlobes. You can cut your whole ear off. You can live without your inner ear. Your balance will be messed up, but you know, you can live with just this part of your body right here. You can be here on the planet. It's just not the optimum you that you can be. You want to lose that waste and give it back to the universe the second you do these things. Now I said all of that to come up to this point. For one, $14.95. $14.95. That's close to $30 for both of these, but when you get both of them, it's closer to $25. I'm taking $5 off. Both of these, my Nutritive is a daily vitamin. My Detox is a daily detox that you take at night. You take this in the morning, you take this at night. $14.95 per bottle, but when you get both of them, $24.99. Give me a call at area code 312-804-1348. I don't care what part of the country you live in. Well, I live far away from there. A lot of people hit me up on Facebook. Oh, where are you? You in California? You over here? Oh, I'm too far. That's what mail order is all about. Hit me up in my inbox. If you know me on Facebook as Lorenzo McCoy, if you know me as Larry B. McCoy Jr., it really doesn't matter. Hit me up. Give me a call and I'll show you how you can get these sent to you. It's just that simple. And I will send it to you priority. You will get it in 2 to 3 days. You can get started right now. Take my herbs. Take whatever your weight is, divide it in half. That's how many ounces of water you need every single day. Cut out the milk and cheese. That's the first step before I can get you to even be more raw foodist. That's the first step right there. You're going to start losing weight automatically just doing those things. Most people, instead of drinking water when their body's thirsty, they go get something to eat. Because I know we think we're very intelligent, but we're not as intelligent as we think. Our nutritional IQ is pretty low. So when your body's telling you we need more water, you go drink a soda. We need more water. You go make some Kool-Aid. We need more water. You go eat a hamburger. That's what we do though. Most people eat when they really are thirsty. Because if you're really not trained and in tune to a natural body, you really don't know what it means. When your stomach starts growling, that really doesn't always mean that you're hungry. It's embarrassing. Your stomach hurts. Somebody says, oh, you must be hungry. No, my stomach's working. That's what I tell them. No, my stomach's working. It's doing what it's supposed to do. That doesn't mean I need to stuff it really quick. Oh, it's time for me to eat. My stomach growling. It doesn't even mean that. That's a different subject. Drink the water that you're supposed to drink. Take your weight, divide it in half. That's how many ounces you're supposed to drink per day. See, that's scientific right there. That's not, well, I drink water. I drink a lot of water. Because you can imagine yourself going up and drinking these little shots of water at work. You got your little bottle that you've been drinking on all day. You 400 pounds, but you have this little 12-ounce can of water. And you're sipping it with the finger up. Oh, I drink water all day long because you've been sipping on that one little thing. So in your mind, you think you're drinking water. But this is Lorenzo Scientific Holistic Health Store. We get scientific here. How much do you weigh? How tall are you? How old are you? That's how we calculate the dosages for you. There are certain herbs in here that if you took it by itself and that whole capsule was filled up with it, it'll be too much for you. I work within the therapeutic range. for everyone. Everyone can take these, if you're pregnant or not, but still consult with your physician, your healthcare provider. There's nothing wrong with that. Have him or her to go with you through each of these herbs and look it up yourselves. It may be things that he or she never even knew about themselves, but you're being scientific, you're being religious, you're being holistic, you're being a true Christian, true Muslim, a true Hebrew, all of that by studying. I saw in the Bible it says the prudent man studieth every word, and a fool believes everything. See, those are things that resonate to me. Envy not depression nor any of his ways. That's another part of the Bible. That's the things I read. But however you use your religion, however you use your upbringing, however you use your culture, I understand so-called Hispanic culture, so-called African American, Black American culture. I understand Native American culture, and I understand that when you hear on the news the people that are dying the fastest, Black people, Native Americans, and the so-called Hispanic people, which are really talking about Mexicans for the most part. Then everybody else, Puerto Ricans and everybody else. The largest Spanish-speaking populace we have in this country are usually Mexicans, who are genetically Native Americans. There are Native American brothers from the south side of this country. They live in the West, California. They have a certain eating patterns that we do. A lot of times we're frying too much food. We're eating cerebro, brains, pig brain, burritos and things, cow tongue, lengua, burrito de lengua. So we have a lot in common in terms of our dietary malfunctions. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it tastes great. We grew up on it. Growing up on something doesn't mean that it's healthy. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. There's a reason why the death rates, the diabetes rates, the heart attack rates, the stroke rates are very high in those groups of people. And the silly thing is, all of those groups of people used to eat a totally different type of indigenous food. And right now, they both are doing a lot of frying. I had a very brief time with our Navajo brothers and sisters, and that fried bread is very good. But they use a big thing of lard, a lot of grease. Tastes great. Sort of like, what do you call it? Funnel cake. Sort of tastes like a funnel cake with all the sugar on the top. But you can still put that sugar on it if you like. I love fried bread. It's been years since I ate it. I was like 15, 16 years old, I think, when I last had it. But no, you can't eat that all the time and still be healthy. That's just how it goes. So with that, this concludes my first part about losing weight. Take these herbs, do the research, ask me any questions. There should be no excuse for you not doing this. You don't have to be in whatever city I'm in. You have my phone number. Give me a call and I will send it right to you. If you have any questions about your health, there are certain things that I'm going to tell you, go to your doctor and see and get some tests. And then we can go from there, because everybody's different. For some of you, you may not have energy because you're just not eating right. For some of you, you stand up too late. Some of you might be sexing too much. Whatever that case, we have to attack it individually. Some of you, you just need to get these herbs and say, okay, let me start drinking some more water, and you're fine. Others, we have to go a little bit deeper. With most of us, we have to write down what we're eating. And then we can see, okay, yes, you are eating raw fruits and vegetables, but it's not an abundance of nutrients. You just can't just eat lettuce every day, iceberg lettuce and a couple of carrots, and drink water. You're going to be missing so many nutrients. You're going to be lacking a whole lot of things. And we'll show you how are you going to get your B12? How are you going to get your B7, B6? How are you going to do this without eating meat? We're going to get into all of that. But for right now, I've basically given you everything that you need to lose weight right now. Slice that milk and cheese, all the cow snot. We're going to get into those other meats after that. But that's where I want you to start. Start drinking the correct amount of water. Now that's not tap water either. Oh man, people stupid these days. This government really got people living really stupid. They're buying water that's free. They can get right out of the sink. I know you thought you were intelligent. They were stupid, but the joke's on you, Jack. You do want to drink a nice type of water that comes from a very healthy source. I like spring water. If you can get some type of ozonated micro filtered water, you want a good type of water. Just like with anything else, read your bottle. If it says it comes from this municipality in Brooklyn or whatever, it's probably tap water. If it says the source is a stream on the side of a mountain, it probably is mountain spring water, and it has all of the minerals that naturally comes in spring water because it's going through plants, it's going over rocks, and it naturally has minerals in it, and is naturally filtered by moss, algae, and rocks as it's coming from the snow on the top of a mountain and right into that stream. So yeah, that's the type of water you're supposed to be drinking when I say drink water. Don't just put your mouth up under the tap water. Don't do that. We'll get into that, why you shouldn't do that, a little bit later. And eat plenty of raw fruits and vegetables. Sometimes eat it as a whole meal. When you get up in the morning, the best breakfast, breaking the fast, breakfast is water and raw fruits. Get you an apple and an orange and drink a lot of water. I'm gonna be going to the bathroom all the time. You're supposed to go to the bathroom. You don't have to go all the time. Drink a little at a time all day long, but you need to make sure you get into you the correct amount of water. If you're 200 pounds, that's 100 ounces of water. Take your weight, divide it in half. That's how much water you're supposed to drink. Now, just by you increasing that amount of water, it's going to keep your stomach filled with water. Not all the way to the top. I'm not telling you to drink it all at one time, but you will eat less, because when you thought you were hungry, you were most likely dehydrated. A lot of you would notice that your migraines start disappearing. The lack of water causes a lot of things, dizziness, and yes, you will overeat because you don't know that you were dehydrated, and your body was like, okay, since this person is not smart enough to make sure they're drinking water, we're going to make them just start eating everything, and we're going to try to take water out of all of that crap that they've been eating. Just that simple. So that's the first part. Get these herbs, drink the right amount of water, cut out that so-called dairy, the cow snot, the cow mucus. And as an alternative, go to the health food stores, Whole Foods, and whatever whole health places that you have near you, and I guarantee you're going to see an alternative to that milk. And that's where it is. Now we're going to get into, for everybody else who wanted me to go into these books a little bit deeper, I'm going to go into that just a little bit. We have a little bit time left. I know the video went a little long, but it's going to go even longer for those who want me to go through a lot of these different herbs. Now, for this part, this is for those who are like myself, who want to hear the scientific reasons why these herbs can help the human body. First, I must say as a disclaimer, the FDA has set up a system by which it is illegal for me or anyone else, even your doctor, to say, even if it's true, that a food nutrient or a herb can cure a disease or give beneficial effects to the symptoms of a disease. So to say that this can cure you of any disease will be illegal, which is why we have to say this statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. That keeps my black ass from getting shut down. That keeps the FDA from coming straight through that door, locking me up. Not because I'm a quack. I know that's what a lot of people think. I'm glad they do that. Let's keep quacks off the street. I'm helping you get food in your body. But I wanted to show you, and I'm leading off with that before I even read this to you, that there's a system there that makes a lot of money off your ignorance. That's why I always say it's the free will. It's freedom of choice. You have to study. It's not my job to cure you of anything. My job is to give you the information that you may not know about so that you can cure yourself. My job is to help facilitate you with getting the right information to lead you on the right way. And yes, I do order from some of the top manufacturers of holistic herbs in the world. That's the cool thing about researching. I get a chance to find out what's the best source of this. Do they know what they're doing when they're cutting and sifting and making powders out of these herbs? This herb is only effective when it is grown in this region of the world. Those are the things that we have to study. You don't have to worry about that. All we have to get you to do is start eating right. Drinking the right type of water, the right amount of water. And you let us worry about all of this stuff, which is cool. This is what we like to do. So those who are like myself, who like to do this research, I'm going to go over a couple of the different herbs that I use in my products. And for those who know me, they know that I usually change up the formulas like every couple of months, because I have so many people now who, just like myself, who are using these herbs daily. You don't want to use the same herbs all the time. It's just like when you're lifting weights and your body starts to plateau. You don't have the same effect from that particular type of exercise. Your body will so-called get used to it after a while, and the effect is not as potent as when you introduce a different type of herb. So there are big groups of herbs that do the same things. I may use one of these herbs and switch up a couple of months down the road. I learned this when I used to make a lot of anti-parasitic formulas. Parasites are way more intelligent than humans. They're like the Borg from Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? From Star Trek. They will basically adapt to whatever you have coming into them. Now, they haven't adapted yet to cayenne and wormwort and all these type of things, wormwood, for millions of years. But I usually like to change up which one I'm using over months. So I do the same thing with my detox and nutritive formulas also. I don't want your body to get used to any of these herbs. Certain ones are always going to be there, but I might change the ratios around. That being said, we're going to go into first, we're going to talk a little bit about activated charcoal. And no, this is not the charcoal that you would put, that you barbecue with. This particular activated charcoal is really carbon. It's black. Carbon is the building blocks of all life. Everything that has life is carbon based. Now, we're not going to get that deep into the stars again, but we did talk about, because I wanted you to have more information in mind instead of we got to eat these animals in order to get these minerals and vitamins. It's all coming from stars. And I'm going to go back briefly. We talked about how stars are formed, what stars do, just like our sun. You got helium. You got a whole lot of heat breaking down helium, and then it's being condensed because of the gravity of this big immense phenomena that we call a star. Then you have something that's I think at 10 billion degrees, you would get hydrogen going to helium. Then after that, it can get condensed even more, and with all of that extreme heat, you after a while get carbon. If you look at the sun is like layers of onions, and then those layers, you will see those different minerals and gases. So you got gases, which, as you can imagine, a gas, it seems formless, but it has substance, it has material, and that has condensed. And you can get so condensed where at the center of an old star you have real iron. Just like you have the center of this planet, you have iron, but it's in a liquid state, liquid-like state. We're not going to get that deep into it, but that's your carbon. Right after the formation, helium, I think you can start getting condensed carbon from those stars. And of course, when that star explodes, it shoots all of that out. But and still inside of that, like nebula, after a star explodes, you got the building blocks of what we call organic material. Carbon is that basics, the word we are made of. Activated charcoal is basically going back to the roots of where we come from. Now we use willow bark. The willow plant is where we get what we call aspirin. Now we'll go a little bit deeper into that a little later, but basically, you know, most of the plants, most of the drugs that we have now come from plants. So back in the day, you know, you see these African, you see these Native American, you see these indigenous people all over the world using these different plants. Scientists go in and say, what do you take for headaches? And they say, we use that plant over there. So the willow plant, you know, they go and take that plant, take it back to their lab and try to find out what in it gives that therapeutic effect. Then that company, which was, I think was the Bayer company back in 1899 or something like that, one of their scientists was one who found exactly what part of that plant has that medicinal effect, and now we know it now as aspirin. So that's just that's a fast history of that. We can go deeper into that and read it so I can get you the dates correct, and the particular scientist, I can't think of his name, who worked for the Bayer company, because I think there were some patent issues or something that happened later on. But the main thing is this particular plant. When it's burned and you get this black powder, that is what they use when you go and overdose on pharmaceutical medication. That's what they pump your stomach with. Now these days they have other variants of it, but in the beginning they were using activated charcoal. Activated charcoal, to make a long story short, I'm looking at this list right here. I'm going to try to go down as much of this list as possible. But activated charcoal is one of the very, very important ones I use in my detox, which is why the capsules look black, because this is the darkest one. And also by the nature of this particular plant material, because it's burned, it brings back to its very basic form. So we go back to the carbon base of things. When you burn it all up, that's what's left. You're back to that carbon base part of it. But this particular plant also has a surface structure where it basically, when you put it into your body, it begins to absorb everything into it. The surface structure of it, the surface area of it, is such that unlike a lot of other material like powder material, this particular material, once it gets wet into your body, it starts sucking up all. Like if you try to take it without putting it into some water first, if you just eat it, because I experimented myself with all of these herbs for years. If you just try to take a spoonful of it and put it in your mouth, it's gonna suck up everything in your mouth. Your mouth will be dry, like that. That's my job. I have to experiment with these things. I'm just a geek like that. Not a geek, I'm actually an Imhotep. That's what we call it in the conscious realm. But you may know as a nerd or a geek, but we're Imhoteps. We're the people who have to, you know, we like to try this stuff out. I want to know what it does. And as it goes to your body, it basically does what we would call chelation. Basically, it has an effect to be able to take heavy toxins out of your blood, out of your tissue, into itself, so that you can just defecate it right out later on. That's why we use activated charcoal. So when you overdose, you try to kill yourself. My boyfriend left me, my girl, she dumped me, and you take 100 sleeping pills or 100 aspirins. They have to, in order to so-called pump your stomach, it's not just about putting a tube in your stomach, pumping it out. After a certain point is past your stomach, they try to help you to overdose, but in a good way, with activated charcoal or another substance just like that, to try to absorb all of the toxins from whatever drug that you took, so that that can go into the activated charcoal, and it will save your life. So if you ever accidentally poison yourself, if you can overdose on some activated charcoal, and now this is overdose in the herbal realm, not overdose in the pharmaceutical realm where you're going to die, If you try to overdose yourself on any of my herbs and most other people's herbs, the most that will happen to you, your stomach start hurting. You're like, but you won't die. You go do that with any other pharmaceutical drug and see what's going to happen to you. That's why people use that method to kill themselves, because they know that they're going to either die or they're going to be put into some type of comatose state that they're not going to wake up without having to be revived by someone. And what they have to do is get those chemicals out of your bloodstream before it does any more damage. But that's the activated charcoal. I wanted to talk about that one because that's one of the very, very powerful ones that I use. Number 2, bentonite clay. We're gonna talk about that in another one. So yucca root, activated charcoal. These are the detox ones. Bentonite clay, cascara sagrada. Cascara sagrada is one that I use a lot in this detox. This book talks about it a little bit, but in conjunction with a particular formula that they give to patients that are going through chemotherapy. So that's not why I'm giving it to you. I use it because it helps to start that muscle movement of your digestive tract to push down, just like how a worm moves. That's a sort of peristaltic type movement. Peristalsis is that. Sorry about that, my phone has been ringing off the chain, but that's a good thing. It means business is good, so I like it. But unfortunately it interrupts the video making process, but I don't want people to feel like that I'm not getting back to them, so I had to stop for a second. So let me go back down this list a little bit. We were just talking about Cascara Sagrada, and it has the ability to start that peristalsis movement of your gastrointestinal tract, to move that chyme, that undigested fecal matter through your system. And I use it more than senna, because senna, if you use a very, very, very large amount of senna, you're going to feel it. Senna's going to have you doodling on yourself while you're supposed to be at work. Cascara Sagrada can do the same thing, but I'm using a certain amount that you can still go to work. So don't worry about these herbs. Now, you will be going to the bathroom, but you're not going to be doodling on yourself and peeing on yourself. You will know, but you will be more regular. If you eat 3 times a day, you should be going to the toilet stool 3 times a day. That's how the body's supposed to work. So it's going to help you doing that. Also, cloves. We're going to go into cloves, which is on page. Let me go back talking to about this book for 1 second. When I was in Chicago, this is maybe year 2004, I had already been in holistic health for a while, mainly for myself and my family. And only like my friends or relatives, anybody who wanted to do what I was doing, I would make them different herbs, different teas, basically teas and things back then. I didn't do the capsules back then. I would make people a special tea. Or sometimes maybe a salve. They had certain sores or anything like that and they were having problems with. I might make a little salve for them, a poultice or something, and make a bandage for them and help them heal their wounds. You know, but I mainly did it for myself. But people saw I had this little medicine bag with me. I was like a shaman. I had my own medicine bag. They're like, what's that? And I get to, it starts a lot of nice conversations, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to go, basically when I was in Chicago on 95th Street, right next to a Borders that just closed down. Oh, my Borders. But it was a place called Whole Foods or something like that. And the woman who wrote this book, Phyllis A. Balch, I don't know if it's Balk or Balch, CNC, she wrote a book, which is, let me show you. This book right here, Prescription for Nutritional Healing. Actually, that's a different one. She did a couple of them. Prescription for Nutritional Healing, A to Z Guide for Supplements. Then she has this Prescription for Nutritional Healing. Yeah, it was this one. I think she's up to like 6 editions of this particular book. Anybody who's ever gone into a health food store has probably seen this book. And they usually have it right there open so that you can, if you had a certain ailment, you can look up that ailment and you'll see all the different herbs that people use to get yourself right, to heal that particular illness. And I liked her book because it started off talking about water. What is water? It also gave you the definition of vitamins. So before you even got into the book, just the preliminary part of the book, you start understanding what is a mineral, What is a vitamin? And I like that nerdy stuff. I like that MOTEP stuff. I like to get deep into how things work. You can't just tell me take vitamins. What is a vitamin? You can't tell a person like me, you need calcium, you need calcium, you need that cow milk for calcium. What is calcium? What is it? The average person doesn't even know. Oh, you got to watch out for that virus. That virus is going to attack you. What is a virus? Most people don't know. Most people, oh, it's virus attacks. You know, they're trying to do this. It's a piece of, like a booger in your body. So-called definition, I believe, is a protein envelope with its nucleus consisting of RNA and or DNA. That's what a virus is. That's a whole different stuff. We're going to talk about viruses too. But that's why I like books like this, for people who want to go a little bit deeper into how these things work and why you're supposed to drink a certain type of water. Why is fluoridated water and fluoride toothpaste, sodium fluoride, why is that detrimental? Why is that a detriment to good health? Why is that something that is insalubrious to the natural way your body is supposed to react to something that is a medicine to the body? So if it's acting in a way that's contrary to the way it's supposed to act when you have something good in your body like real food, then you're probably taking in a poison, is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to go through this book. And I do this a lot. Some people don't like it, which is why I did this part at the last part of this video, because a lot of people don't want to go through books. I get that. For some, they don't have time, so you let me go through it for you. Like burdock root. I'm gonna open it up right to burdock roots. Excellent. I love different type of cleansers. But we're going to go to cloves. A lot of us have seen cloves. Cloves are those little black pieces of like a pepper that we see that's stuck in salami. Like I grew up eating bologna sandwiches and salami sandwiches, and I always wondered, what is that black stuff? My mom said, oh, those are called cloves. I'm like, cloves? Why they put it in there? And over the years, while doing research, let me see, page 49, I found out that there are a lot of foods that we eat that the ancient people, or at least this weren't that ancient, but years ago, even 100, 200 years ago, people knew they were eating stuff that was bad, that it had a lot of parasites in it. That's why you saw the cloves inside of the salami, stuck in there. That's why when you eat a Polish sausage, it has sauerkraut on it. There are a lot of different foods that you had to eat with those meats, especially pork products, that kill parasites. And we're about to see that cloves are one of those. So we're on page 49 of Understanding Herbal Healing. Prescription for herbal healing. General description. The clove is an evergreen tree with pointed leaves that is native to the Molucca Islands and cultivated in Madagascar, Indonesia, and Zanzibar, Tanzania. Mambo. So it's a tree. It's an evergreen tree. It's nothing from another planet. It's right here from Earth. And the oil of cloves is an anti-inflammatory. Check that out. It's like your aspirins. It's an antimicrobial. That's why it's in that meat. It's an analgesic. That relieves your pain. It's a pain reliever. And an antifungal. Benefits of clove oil for specific health conditions include the following. Now, I'm not going to read all of the benefits for every single one, but I want you to get a little idea of why I choose different plants. Why I choose different plants and vegetables and fruits, which are all herbs. We're going to go a little bit on what cloves do. Some people use it for Bell's palsy, chronic fatigue syndrome, and herpes. Clove oil increases the effectiveness of acecloprid. Acecloprid, however you pronounce it. You might know it as Zovirax, a drug used to treat the viral infections underlying these disorders. Check that out. Food poisoning. Now this is why I have it in here. Cloves kill some types of bacteria, including Shigella, all forms of Shigella, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Staphylococcus aureus, and you know it as staph, Streptococcus, and all of which can be involved in food poisoning. You've heard of strep and Staphylococcus. You know, you've seen it, I think, on one of them Lysol commercials and stuff. And you might, well, what are they talking about? Staphylococcus, what is that? Streptococcus, what is that? That's what they're talking about. Peptic ulcers, some people use it for that. Oil of cloves reduces the sensation of gas pressure within the stomach that is frequently troubling for people with peptic ulcers. The eugenol in clove oil depresses the transmission of nerve impulses that convey a feeling of bloating and gas. It's pretty tight. Also, any of those of us who've had cavities, we might have seen cloves, and I'm going to show you why cloves keep coming up for that. Periodontal disease and toothache. Clove blossoms and clove oil have been used around the world for generations to relieve pain from toothache and dental treatment. Oil of cloves is combined with zinc oxide to make an analgesic, a pain reliever, paste. That's why you've always seen it, and I had that years ago, and I'm always going through all these books, and I was like, cloves, why do you use cloves? Now, I did know it was antifungal. I know it fought different microbes. So, you know, you could take one of those cloves, especially I had like a big cavity where I had to put a whole clove in there. And over time, I felt it start feeling better. So I was like, man, this really does work. So that's why I use cloves too. Now, we're going to go into, what do we want to do next? Let me go over the whole list. For my detox, we have yucca root, activated charcoal, bentonite clay, cascara sagrada, cloves, fennel seed, echinacea, garlic, psyllium husk, ginger, horseradish, slippery elm, and licorice root. For my Nutridev, we have beets, chlorella, bentonite clay, cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, comfrey, fenugreek, green clay, garlic, ginger, kelp, spirulina, and wild cherry bark. What do we want to go to next? Let's check out slippery elm. Slippery elm is a good one. Slippery elm is one of those ones you see I have in the detox. That's very good for your digestive tract. And I'm going to show you, not from my words, but we're going to show you some words of somebody else who went to school for this type of stuff, who got the degrees and everything. So in order for me to, sometimes I'm just going to tell you from my own research how and why I do certain things, and how I give the advice that I give, where I get the information from, because I want you yourself to do your own research also if you have the time. But I understand that you have people like me who do that research for you, and we just get you the herbs. But you have to get the information along with it. If I just showed you the herbs, this will be easier. I can make 10-minute videos just selling you something. I'll make it look funny, and I'm a camera guy, even though it doesn't show it right now. You know what I'm saying? I can set this stuff up with nice music, graphics, and everything to make a nice commercial just to sell you something. But I would be remiss not to be able to teach you something in the process. That's what I'm about. I want you to be smarter, so that right now you're bombarded with commercials all the time anyway. You don't know who to believe. You see the pink ribbon people going around now. I'm going to tell you a little bit how I feel about that. The marching of the dimes, the little pink ribbons. They're using our guilt. They're using our sadness for losing loved ones. And for us ourselves, those of us who have cancer and things of that nature, they make millions off of our ignorance, people. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry that for the little feeling that a lot of you might get when I say this. But it needs to be said. I stopped a long time ago putting a little dime in the box, you know what I'm saying, because they use our guilt. They will have a person working at a register. Would you like to give $1 to the March of Dimes? Would you like to give $1 to this particular cancer thing? And the problem is, the reason why they can't have my money anymore is because I don't see them, when they come to all of our schools, they're not telling you how to eat. They want you to just give up the money. They've got people getting their breasts cut off. You see what I'm saying?